Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going over amplification, intensification of state elicitation. In the first couple of videos we went over how to elicit a state, and in this video and the one right before it we're talking about how to intensify it. So in the last video we talked about using submodalities, the qualities of an experience to make it more intense. And in this video we're going to be talking about something called a fractionation. And fractionation I first learned about from hypnosis. Actually, it's if you're going to learn Neuro Linguistic Programming, it is useful to study hypnosis as well, given that one of the creators of, or one of the founding fathers of NLP was Milton H. Erickson, one of probably the most well-respected, well-regarded hypnotists of our time. And there are a lot of views and stigmas about hypnosis which deserve their own video. You could do an entire channel on hypnosis. But for now, let's just define hypnosis as hypnotic communication. Communication that influences your unconscious processing, the place where you store your habits, your behaviors, your memories. Okay, it's not something that's inherently positive or negative. All right, I think a lot of people are scared about hypnosis, but if you realize that hypnotic communication and hypnotic phenomenon are just natural parts of how the brain works, you might find yourself compelled just to learn it and understand it rather than being afraid of it. A lot of people will miss out on the own experience of what their mind can do because they have an impression of something from a stage show, and that's a shame. But anyway, fractionation was something that I first learned about when studying hypnosis. And what fractionation is when you want to deepen trance, what you'll do for somebody is you'll hypnotize them, you'll have them go into a certain depth of trance, you'll wake them up, and then you'll have them go down deeper. And every time you do that process, you bring them out and then in, and then out and then in, you actually are able to go to a deeper level of trance. And one of the fastest ways to get somebody into a deep state is to fractionate the hell out of them. Out, in, until they're just zonked all the way down. Well, the interesting thing about that is that you can do this with other states. You don't have to do this with hypnosis. You can fractionate yourself into positive states. And most people fractionate themselves into shitty states, but we don't want to do that. We want to train ourselves to go in and out of positive states. So pick the state that you've been working on, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to imagine, and I'm combining an exercise called the Circle of Excellence into what we're doing here. So I might do a separate video on that, I might not. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna put in front of you a circle, an imaginary circle that's gonna represent that state. So you could imagine yourself in that state, in the circle in front of you. So you're gonna see yourself in the state. You're gonna imagine perhaps a color of that state circling you in that state. And what I want you to do, so I'm gonna pick happiness. I'm gonna see myself in a very happy state. And I see myself happy, I see the color of happiness circling it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and step into it. And as I step into it at the rate and speed that I begin to go into a state of happiness. And I'm gonna do that only at the rate and speed that I start to feel that happiness. And then I'm gonna pop back out of it again and leave that in that spot. Now, I went into the state and I popped out of it. Now, what I wanna do now is I wanna imagine what it would be like if I were even happier. So I'm gonna see myself twice as happy, and the energy is so much stronger, much more powerful. And then I'm gonna slowly step into it at the rate and speed that I can feel myself going into the state even more powerfully. Now, if I do this again and again, right, I will go deeper and deeper into the state. So I can pop back out of it, leave it all there. And then same thing. So I'm gonna see myself twice as happy as I was before, as much happiness as a human being could stand, and really intensify it. Go ahead and begin to step into it. And so the more you do that, the deeper into the state you can go. So this is just another way for you to begin to gain that type of state mastery. If you've been doing the exercises and it's not easy for you to go into the state that you want to go into, well, that's largely because your neural pathways aren't accessing that state that often. Tony Robbins has this great saying that you need to do emotional conditioning. And this is what he's referring to. that our neural pathways, they take the routes that are most often traveled. And most of us have a highway to stress. We have a highway to overwhelm. We have a highway to all of these things, but we have a dirt road to happiness, gratitude, love, etc. And exercises like this one are paving that road. The interesting thing about this, by the way, is you get two effects that happen. Your mind will start to see that being happy is important to you. And as you go into positive states more often, it will actually start to demyelinate the pathways that are not being used. So the more you practice feeling good, the less the mind is going to go down the old neural pathways, and it's actually going to begin to take energy away from them, take the myelin that was supporting that structure away. And over time, your whole brain structure will begin to change to support you being able to go into the positive states much more easily. So we've done fractionation, we've done submodalities, and I think in the next video I'm going to do how much pleasure can you stand, an exercise by Richard Bandler to help you intensify states. And then after that we're going to do polarity drills, and you're pretty much ready to get to setting an anchor after that. Stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell.